Hello, welcome to Deadly Intentions. I am your host Tori Lee, and this is the channel for true crime lovers. This is episode 1, part 1. Today we'll be discussing the case of Jesse Baird and Luke Davies, a double murder of two innocent men committed by a killer cop with a police-issued weapon. These episodes cover topics of a sensitive nature and listener discretion is advised. Let's relax with a wine or tea and get straight into today's case. This case, I'm going to need you guys to bear with me. It is very complex, very heartbreaking, extremely sad, involves stalking, damage of personal property, and just should never have even happened. Absolute devastating scenario. Everything in this case just becomes worse and worse. I'm going to try and explain the best I can for you all though, but this investigation continues to uncover more details about the tragic loss of Jesse Baird and Luke Davies. A word that is being used by the police and through the media currently is allegedly. Even though the accused has been charged with 2 counts of murder and has not applied for bail, until a verdict is delivered in court, it is all still allegedly. So please keep in mind that all this is allegedly, and the detectives are still currently preparing documentation and a court brief for the court proceedings on the 23rd of April in Downing Centre Local Court. Jesse Baird was 26 years old, born in the year 1998. Jesse worked as an umpire for the AFL. He officiated 62 matches, including 2 grand finals. Jesse also worked as an Australian television presenter and reporter on various Network 10 programs, such as Totally Wild and Studio 10, where he was also a red carpet reporter before the segment was cancelled in December 2023. Jesse grew up in northeast Melbourne, however moved to Brisbane and then to Sydney to further his umpire career. Family and friends and work colleagues describe Jesse as talented, caring and funny. Jesse had a very successful career and he was scheduled to umpire an AFL pre-season practice match between Sydney and Greater Western Sydney on the 20th of February. However, he never arrived, which was unusual. Jesse was previously in a long-term relationship with a man named Corey Dean Thorpe. The pair decided to part way after a 5-year-long relationship. However, Corey and Jesse remained good friends after the separation, and things ended amicably. During the year of 2023, Jesse met a man named Beaumont Lamar Condon on a night out at a nightclub. Jesse and Beau had a friend with benefits type of situation happening, having brief casual encounters with each other. Beau had revealed to Jesse that he had strong feelings for him. However, Jesse did not feel the same. Jesse made this clear to Beau, stating he had just got out of a long-term relationship with Corey and wasn't looking for anything serious. Nor did he feel that way towards Beau, and he wanted to heal from his recent breakup. So Jesse and Beau decided to remain friends, but things are about to take a turn for the worst. Beaumont Lamar Condon, born in 1995, who is 28 years old, was raised in Australia in a multicultural family. Beau was previously known for his red carpet celebrity blogs. He ran a YouTube channel that was dedicated to reviews, gossip, and interviewing celebrities. Beau has interviewed and been photographed with famous people such as Lady Gaga, Harry Styles, Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus, Ben Stiller, Ryan Gosling, Kourtney and Kim Kardashian, and even Katy Perry, just to name a few. Beau's sister, who is 25, was also seen alongside her brother Beau, chasing around celebrities and posting photos with the stars. The siblings were inseparable and were often seen together 3 to 4 times a week, following around and ambushing any celebrities who were in town. It is alleged that some celebrities have put out restraining orders on the Hollywood chasing siblings. However, I was unable to find sufficient evidence to support this claim. Beau took a break from blogging and decided to follow in his mother's footsteps, who is now a former 10 years serving police officer, and he joined the New South Wales Police Force. Beau entered the police force under oath in 2019, as did his sister also. However, Beau's sister was to come to an unhappy conclusion long before her brother's police career ended. His sister fell pregnant and later unsuccessfully sued the New South Wales Police Force for compensation after being dismissed from her job as a radio dispatcher for refusing to be vaccinated against COVID. During Beau's time as a serving police officer, he worked in several high profile cases, such as drug dealing, hostage situations, rescue, and rape and violence. His rank was a senior constable. People who knew Beau described him as mysterious and bizarre. He frequently exaggerated his encounters with celebrities, told people he owns a swimwear brand, drove luxury cars, and often lived beyond his financial means. Beau was named in his 2012 high school yearbook as most likely to become famous, and on Friday, the 23rd of February, his name was known Australian wide for being a killer cop. Corey states things mostly were normal for Jesse since he moved to Sydney. That was up until August 2023. Jesse had told Corey that a police car had followed him home on one occasion. Another time, Jesse called Corey and was frantic, saying, "Corey, last night, this morning, I was sleeping in my bed and I had someone standing over me at the end of my bed watching me. When I woke up, they stole my phone and wallet. I bolted after them in Paddington." Corey also claimed that Jesse once caught Beau using his phone while they were hanging out and alleged that Beau would send Jesse concerning messages. For example, Jesse would be at a cafe with another guy having coffee and he would get text messages from Beau saying, "I hope you were enjoying coffee with that other guy." Corey told Jesse to go to the police, but Jesse said he was scared an allegation about him might arise and he might lose his AFL career. Jesse claimed he also didn't want to ruin Beau's life or create drama, as Beau had a family of police officers, and Jesse believed that the police wouldn't really deal with it. Beau even posted photos claiming that the pair were in a relationship. After these events occurred, Jesse tried to cut all communication and contact with Beau. Corey and Jesse had drafted text messages between themselves about it together, stating that Beau had overstepped the boundaries of their friendship and they should no longer see each other. Jesse wrote, "Beau, I feel hurt and feel like I've been lied to. This afternoon I gave you a chance to tell me the truth and I don't think you did that. There have been many examples that have been brought to me since we met that show you've acted in a way that's completely inappropriate. I'm not going to stand for it anymore. I think it's best if we focus on ourselves and stop seeing each other. I have thought long and hard about this and know that it's the right decision for me. I would appreciate it if you could refrain from contacting me." Jesse then wrote, "Short and sweet." Corey responded, "Yeah, I think that's okay. Just be prepared for him to try and explain himself." Jesse responded, "I'm going to send it and block his number and on Instagram." Corey then responded stating, "Maybe just see what he has to say. I totally understand about blocking, but doing that without him explaining will make him show up at your front door." This shows Jesse was trying to distance himself from the celebrity chasing police officer. It's alleged that it did not end well towards the end of 2023. Friends say not a lot in life got Jesse down, but something not so pleasant was happening in his personal life, and he was experiencing issues with somebody. Jesse's car had been keyed and sabotaged, with mysterious incidents affecting its engine and fuel. It has been revealed that Beau had a key to the Paddington home and was breaking into Jesse's home, deleting text messages and contacts from his phone. It's alleged that Beau also poured water into Jesse's engine block. None of this was reported to the police due to Jesse feeling fearful. Moving on to 2024, rumours regarding Jesse Baird's personal relationship started to flow towards the end of 2023, speculating Jesse Baird had a new love interest. These rumours turned out to be true. Jesse confirmed he was in a relationship with Luke Davies only 2 weeks prior to their disappearance. Luke was 29 years old, born in Queensland, Australia. He just scored his dream job with Qantas as an international Qantas flight attendant, and he had previously worked for Tiger Airways. Luke was very loved by family and friends. He recently left Newstead, Brisbane, and moved to Sydney in Waterloo. He has been described as humble, super intelligent, and very fun social person. Luke and Jesse were a young couple and they recently began their relationship, living life, going on adventures together, and pictured extremely happy together. The couple were last seen in public at the Beersford pub in Darlinghurst, near Sydney's CBD, on Sunday the 18th of February. Their last known movements were caught on a CCTV outside of Jesse's home on Monday night, the 19th of February. Police launched a suspicious investigation and issued a missing persons Amber Alert for Luke and Jesse. Police described they had grave fears for both men. Members of the public were asked to contact police and Crime Stoppers for any information they may have into the whereabouts of both men. Police are now investigating one of their own, and detectives have created their own timelines of Beau's alleged movements. New details have emerged to the public, and this is what we know so far in detail. On Friday the 16th of February, Beau took home his police-issued pistol. He signed his Glock out of Miranda Police Station, stating he was rostered to work at Users Pay event. This was signed off and approved by Beau's supervisor. These user pay events are things like music festivals or rallies where organisations pay for the policing services themselves. On Saturday the 17th of February, police obtained CCTV footage from a shopping centre in Miranda of Beau purchasing one surfboard bag from a sports store shortly after 3 p.m. with another man. On Sunday the 18th of February, Beau was due to work an event called Free Palestine Rally, which was the Users Pay event that his pistol was signed out for on the 16th of February. However, it is believed that Beau did not work or attend that event. However, it is yet still to be confirmed. On Monday the 19th of February, Beau was seen on CCTV getting out of a black SUV wearing a black cap and entered Jesse's home with a key. It is then understood there was an argument that occurred and Beau fired 3 shots from his police-issued pistol, causing the fatality of Jesse and Luke. Detectives state this was a premeditated murder and Jesse was the only intended target, but upon entering Jesse's home, Beau had to also kill Luke as well, and police claimed that Luke was in the wrong place at the wrong time. It is suspected the couple were killed in between 12:30 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. A 000 call was made from Jesse's phone and a male voice can be heard shouting, "Get out and fuck off," before the call was transferred to an operator. The call was terminated. The verbal argument can be heard by neighbours at Jesse's home and also gunshots. However, this was not reported to police by anyone in the neighbourhood. Beau was later then seen on CCTV footage at a shopping centre in Miranda walking into the same sports store he visited on Saturday and purchased another surfboard bag. Beau checks in his police pistol into Balmain Police Station near the house where he is believed to have been living with his mother at the time of these murders. The Glock is returned with a full magazine, allegedly. At 8 p.m, a housemate of Jesse's returned to the Paddington home and saw 2 surfboard bags that were covered with a blue tarp. The housemate took 3 photographs of this and even poked one of the surfboard bags. The housemate stated that the surfboard bag felt lumpy and not like it had a surfboard inside. She also noticed a lounge that was covered in red stains as well as the pavers underneath the surfboard bags. However, she assumed the tiles had been stained by beetroot juice spilt by Jesse, as he was known for being messy. The housemate slept at the Paddington home where the couple were murdered, not knowing their bodies were still hidden in the backyard. Beau hired a white Toyota Hiace from Sydney Airport during the late hours of the night. It baffles me that people heard an argument and gunshots and did not think to report this. It baffles me even more that the housemate didn't find the state of the Paddington home and red stains strange and bizarre. On Tuesday, the 20th of February, Beau returned to the Paddington home and retrieved the bodies of Jesse and Luke that were in the surfboard bags. Beau drove the hired white Toyota Hiace van to Cronulla and dumped the personal items of Luke and Jesse. Beau used Jesse's phone to send text messages to Jesse's housemates and work colleagues, stating he and Luke were moving to Perth, Western Australia, and to take care of his personal belongings by selling them or putting them into storage. Police believe this was an attempt to mislead the investigation and that it was a very calculated move. Beau then checks out his police pistol from Balmain Police Station, drives it to Miranda and checks it back in with a full magazine, allegedly. So at this point he has had He has had the pistol for a total of 5 days, and this was in Beau's care with no questions asked. It is mandatory to report upon returning your weapon if you fire your pistol while working the user's pay event. Beau did not do this. It was discovered that Beau had stolen police bullets from the shooting range 2 weeks prior to the murders. So just another premeditated move in this story. Beau calls in sick to work this day, and it is believed that Beau underwent some sort of abdominal surgery at some point during the Tuesday. I believe there's still maybe some gaps to fill in on this day. Wednesday, the 21st of February, Beau had planned leave from work due to his surgery. Beau began a 2-hour drive across Greater Sydney to a property in Bungonia. This property was well known by Beau due to a former relationship. He was accompanied by a female acquaintance. Beau and the acquaintance stopped and purchased an angle grinder and a padlock from a department store, all while Luke and Jesse's 2-day-old bodies were in the back of the van covered with a blue tarp. When Beau and the acquaintance arrived at the Cellar Farm property in Bungonia, Beau angle grinded the padlock off the gate and replaced it with the new padlock he had just purchased. He left his acquaintance at the front gate while he drove off into the property for over half an hour. Beau made partial admissions to the acquaintance that accompanied him about being involved in the death of 2 people. Police will not release the name of this acquaintance who accompanied Beau and are doing everything they can to make sure this does not get released. Nothing was reported by the acquaintance to the police at the time. Beau left the Bungonia area with the acquaintance and they both drove back to Sydney that day, dropping her back home in Newcastle, and leaves, but first asks her if she has 2 torches. It is believed that Beau was suspicious of his acquaintance. At 11 p.m, Beau purchases weights from a department store and returns to the Cellar Farm alone, where he left the bodies of Luke and Jesse in Bungonia. Beau reloads the bodies of Luke and Jesse into the hired van and moves them to another property 20 minutes from the initial one and partially buries the bodies there. Meanwhile, bloodied clothing and personal items, including a credit card, were found dumped in a skip bin on Wilbur Drive in Cronulla and reported to the police. The items were traced to being Jesse Baird's items, and this sparked a welfare check on Jesse at Jesse's home. Upon the police's arrival, they interrupted 3 forensic cleaners currently cleaning up the property. They had mopped half of the wooden floor. The cleaners were told to stop immediately and were dismissed mid-clean. The homicide squad was notified and Jesse's home was established as a crime scene by 1 p.m. Police searched Luke Davies' home in Waterloo. Following the inquiries, friends of Jesse Baird stated they were scared for his well-being. 2 cars were seized. One was Jesse's and one was Luke's, and a third car was seized at the crime scene, believed to have been owned by Jesse. Detectives revealed they were only searching for Luke and explained this was because Jesse's family hadn't yet been contacted. Jesse's mobile phone was active on Tuesday night, the 20th of February, and text messages were sent to friends and Jesse's housemates. So this led police to think that Jesse was still alive and that possibly Luke had been met with foul play. Police discovered a large amount of blood in Jesse's home, enough to cause a fatality. A bullet hole, which was a .40 caliber cartridge, was found on top of the kitchen cupboard. But when detectives spoke to Jesse's family, they confirmed that he too was missing, and Jesse's mother raised concerns to the Victorian police with information relating to stalking and predatory behaviours from a current police officer named Beau Lamar Condon, who was showing up at Jesse's home regularly unannounced. She said if anything was to happen to her son, that Beau would be responsible. So police believed they were now hunting for a third individual that may be able to assist with the investigation. Detectives did not suggest that the police officer Beau was involved in the pair's disappearance, only that police have said they would like to speak to him. No arrest warrant was issued. A neighbour of Jesse's heard in the media about the missing couple and their unknown whereabouts and welfare concerns. So the neighbour reviewed their CCTV footage from Monday the 19th of February. Their CCTV camera had recorded the sounds of 3 gunshots. They reported this to the police on Wednesday and handed over the footage. This then confirmed that the murders of Jesse and Luke took place at roughly 9:50 a.m. on Monday the 19th of February. Thursday the 22nd of February at 4:30 a.m, Bo is seen leaving the Bungonia area still in possession of the hired Toyota Hiace. He then drove directly to a former colleague's home in Newcastle by the name of Renee Fortuner. Bo calls in sick to work again and switches off his mobile phone. Bo makes partial admissions to Renee, saying that the bodies wouldn't sink, even when he had purchased weights. Bo said, "I was floating in a dam and drove 2.5 hours away." Bo then stated that Luke and Jesse weren't coming home. Bo had told Renee that his white van was full of blood and that he needed to clean it out. So Bo asked to have access to a hose. He said, "It's me, but it's not me." A missing persons Amber Alert being treated as suspicious was released to the public, and police stated they have grave fears for both Jesse and Luke, and asked if any of the public could offer assistance to contact Crime Stoppers immediately. Bo sold a boat party ticket for the price of $160 to an anonymous person, where he exchanged his bank details and emailed the boat party ticket to the buyer. It is not yet known why he sold this boat party ticket. A projectile that was found at the crime scene in Jesse's home was confirmed to be the casing matching that of a New South Wales police firearm. At 11 p.m, officers raided the home of one of Bo's family members in the Sydney suburb of Balmain, where several items were seized and police were photographed exiting the property with big brown bags. Police realised that Bo's gun was checked into Miranda Police Station, missing a single cartridge case. Police are required to report mandatory if they fire their weapon at a user pay event. Bo did not make any reports in relation to firing his weapon. There are still some gaps in the Thursday timeline that police are requiring public assistance to help with filling them in. Friday the 23rd of February, Bo leaves Newcastle around 5 a.m. after spending the night at Renee Fortuner's home and arrives back in Sydney at 6:15 a.m. Renee contacted Crime Stoppers to report what occurred with Bo immediately after he left the residence, and she has been cooperating with the investigation. Renee states that Bo was sleep deprived and rambling. Bo then turns his mobile phone back on. The white Toyota Hiace was found by police in the southern Sydney suburbs of Grays Point, near the Royal National Park. At 10:39 a.m, Bo presented himself to Bondi Police Station. Police announced a current serving police officer was in custody as part of the investigation into the disappearance of Luke and Jesse. Bo was later transferred to Waverley Correctional Facility when he later faced court at Waverley Local Courthouse, where he was charged with 2 counts of murder. Bo did not make a bail application, and the matter was adjourned for the 23rd of April 2024. Bo did not assist or cooperate with the investigation or say anything in relation to the investigation due to the legal advice he had received. Bo spent his first night in protective custody at Silverwater Correctional Complex. It's alleged that Bo also lodged a formal bullying complaint against a colleague during the early hours of the morning. Police revealed that Bo had stolen enforcement bullets from a shooting range a week prior to replace the missing bullets in the Glock upon returning it to the police station. Saturday the 24th of February, floral tributes began growing outside Jesse's home. Rest in peace and heartfelt messages started to flow through social media. Police searches and crime scenes are set up to find the bodies of Luke and Jesse. Police search waterways and conduct line searches and start to try and retrace Bo's known steps. Police believed Bo visited the city north of Sydney before turning himself in. Several crime scenes were set up at Lambton and Newcastle. An acquaintance who accompanied Bo on Wednesday to a rural property came forward with information, stating a blue tarp was in the back of the van covering things, and when he returned after leaving her at the top of the driveway for over half an hour, the blue tarp was no longer there. Police set up a crime scene at Bungonia Cellar Farm Property. Sunday, the 25th of February. Police include specialist divers scouring the area and the dam behind the home and performed line searches for any evidence and looking for the bodies of the missing couple. Polar and Rescue Squad were also a part of these searches. Monday, the 27th of February, a media release conference is held at 12 p.m. with New South Wales Police Commissioner Karen Webb, finally addressing the media after 5 days. She revealed they did not recover anything of interest in relation to the investigation over the weekend searches. However, a small boat was seized at Jesse's home for forensic examination. They revealed Beau had contacted several family members and friends in the days between Monday the 19th and Friday the 23rd before handing himself in, and that Beau acted completely alone, and the other people Beau had involved in the double murder are not going to be charged and have been cleared of any wrongdoing, and that they are cooperating and assisting with the investigation. They announced they are treating this double homicide as domestic violence because Beau had engaged in stalking and predatory behaviours in the lead up to the deaths. They confirmed that Beau did in fact use Jesse's phone to throw off friends and family to avoid a police investigation. Police stated that Jesse and Beau were in an on-again, off-again relationship. However, family and friends close to Jesse stated this was a one-sided crush. Jesse just wanted it to all go away and remove himself from it all, as he was simply just not interested. Family and friends claimed that this was what Beau would have wanted, to think that they were in a relationship, and that Jesse would not be impressed by this statement. Tuesday the 28th of February, Beau was interviewed from Silverwater Prison, where he is being held in protective custody by 2 detectives at 10 a.m. After Beau had received legal advice from a different representative, during the interview, Beau decided he was going to cooperate for the first time since being arrested. He drew a map for the 2 detectives of the location where they could find Luke and Jesse's bodies. This information was passed on immediately, and another crime scene was set up roughly 20 minutes from the initial search site at Bungonia. John Wolford, a former New South Wales police officer turned solicitor, confirms he had been engaged to represent Beau. Wolford is a 20-year veteran of the force and a former senior investigator. According to Wolford, Beau seems visibly okay while in prison, but that's just the surface. I couldn't imagine how he is feeling here as a police officer and in jail. Beau's mental health will help with their defence, he says. Bringing the officer's mental health to light will be important in understanding the case and the alleged actions. Welford states he was awaiting a brief from the police, but this is a tragic set of circumstances for all involved. We won't be making a comment at this point of time, as you would appreciate. At 2 p.m, Karen Webb addressed the media, stating they had found 2 bodies in surfboard bag covers at a property along a fence line covered. She stated, "We are extremely confident the bodies are Luke and Jesse's," and then thanked Beau for cooperating. Jesse's family visited the crime scene where the bodies were located and remained there for roughly an hour. The bodies were then sent off for examination. Karen Webb states she has signed off and served a notice of dismissal from the force to Beau. On the 22nd of March, it was announced Beau had been officially dismissed from the police force and that Jesse's home had been abandoned and that his roommates have moved out. Now, this was not the first time that Constable Beau Lamar Condon had been in the media headlines while being a serving police officer for New South Wales. A headline reading, "Australian police assault a man with a taser," shows Beau being the officer behind the taser, tasering Mr. Bradshaw repeatedly in the face, chest and neck. Mr. Bradshaw had allegedly began walking in the opposite direction when he saw the police officers. Beau was cleared of any wrongdoing in an internal police investigation. This footage was taken by an onlooker and shows police officer Beau pointing a taser at Chris Bradshaw as he kneels on the ground at the back of a unit on Rose Terrace in Darlinghurst. Bo can be heard shouting, "Get on the ground now. If you move, I will taser you." A female police officer can then be seen grabbing Mr. Bradshaw by the shoulder to help drag him down to the ground while Bo shocks him repeatedly. Mr. Bradshaw can be heard screaming in pain before asking the officers, "Why are you doing this? I'm not even fighting you." Mr. Bradshaw was arrested and taken to St. Vincent's Hospital for observation before being released and taken to Surrey Hills Police Station. Mr. Bradshaw was charged while attending court from his cell with several offences, including intimidating police, resisting arrest and trespassing. Neither of the police officers who attacked Mr. Bradshaw had been stood down, let alone sacked and charged, despite the footage showing the police were the aggressors. Please be warned, this is very confronting footage.
Of a 200-metre sprint from police. Seconds earlier, Chris Bradshaw took off from Taylor Square and ran into a nearby house at Paddington. Constable Bo Lamar followed him, first drawing his gun before swapping it for the taser. Hit 3 times, including to the face. It all started over the mistaken belief that Bradshaw was a wanted man. When you tapped him on the shoulder, "What made you believe he had a warrant?" he was asked. "I believed he had a warrant. What you actually did was approach Mr. Bradshaw because he looked a bit sus. Your client is one of the very few I would ask if they had a warrant." And the magistrate believed him, and Bradshaw further raised suspicion when he ran away. But it's going to be difficult for the prosecution to prove resistance when you're trying to protect yourself from being electrified. The prosecution did, though. The magistrate finding Bradshaw did lunge at police and grab a female officer by the wrist. Throughout today's hearing, Constable Bo Lamar was accused of embellishing his evidence instead of giving yes or no answers. At times, Magistrate Michael Barco was becoming frustrated and had to remind him he wasn't in the witness box to defend his reputation. Defensive because of the media attention, he thought. Chris Bradshaw was convicted of resisting arrest and intimidation. He was fined and placed on a 6-month community corrections order. He will be appealing. Leonie Ryan, 7 News.
Police state the tasering incident is going to be reopened and the psychology team will be reviewing the test that Bo took roughly 5 years ago when he decided to become a police officer for any red flags. Some of Bo's former lovers say they were uneasy about his intensity and they had been told to be wary. There was also an incident reported where Bo attended a Jessica Malboy concert in police uniform at Bondi Junction, Westfield, at 4 p.m. on February 12th. This is exactly 7 days before the murder occurred, claiming to be Jessica's police guard. Shopping centre security was confused when Bo turned up. New South Wales Police could not confirm whether Bo was on duty that day, but celebrities are normally guarded by private security, although police officers are normally at concerts for crowd controlling purposes rather than on guard duties. A post-mortem examination has confirmed that Jesse died from a gunshot. That shot was fired from Bo's police service weapon. Luke Davies' body is expected to produce the same result. Part of Karen Webb's role as the New South Wales Police Commissioner is to provide reassurance to the community. Karen has had a lot of critics and pressure about her leadership in relation to how she has conducted herself during this situation and comments she has made. She responded to critics and frustrations about her delay in speaking to the public after the alleged murders and used quoted Taylor Swift lyrics to fire back at them, saying haters gonna hate. Isn't that what Taylor Swift says?
Days to speak. Come on.
It's still a live investigation. As I said, it's very complex investigation.
Accused of being AWOL in the case, like last year in the tasering of Cooma grandmother Claire Nowland.
But there will always be haters. Haters like to hate. Isn't that what Taylor says?
Within minutes, Taylor Swift memes were circulating among police.
When a Commissioner of Police starts quoting Tay-Tay in the middle of a very serious murder investigation involving one of her own officers, that says it all.
Further controversy after the Sunrise interview. The Commissioner refused to leave the studio because a news crew was waiting outside, sparking a 10-minute standoff.
Well, that's just an absolute embarrassment. That's our Commissioner of Police hiding inside a studio, too scared to go out in front of journalists. Oh, she has to go.
This is not an appropriate time to be quoting a famous pop star's lyric when talking about the murders of two innocent young men. This has raised issues regarding police weapons and storage. The case has prompt calls for an independent review of how police weapons are stored and used in New South Wales. Some breach of procedure has gone wrong where they're concerning things in the file that the force did not pick up on, like obsessive social media behaviours. Was Beau flagged as a high-risk police officer? We will wait for the outcome of that review and if any policies or procedures within the police force change because of this. That is all I have time for today. A new episode is released weekly. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed yourself and want more content, then hit that subscribe button, leave a review, or share with your other true crime besties. See you next week.